Hey guys, what's up? So before anyone comes at me, this is absolutely not a bash Gary Vaynerchuk video. In fact, this is so much not a bash Gary Vee video that he actually has created content himself, basically asking me to make this.
Some of you that follow me heavy, you guys know this. I love when people email me and say they're not watching me anymore. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people making a lot of money making you feel good for a few seconds.
This could have very easily been called why I stopped following Amy Porterfield or Marie Forleo or Mari Smith or any of my marketing heroes, if you will. These are all people that I very deeply admire and that really lit a fire under me and got me started in my business and creating content and all of that. And I feel like I can never repay them for all the amazing things that they've taught me. But this is not clickbait. I don't really follow any of those people anymore super religiously, particularly GaryVee. That's why I titled it this. So let's talk about why. So I started following GaryVee when I was like a junior or senior in college, and I had always been really entrepreneurial, but I fell in love with his content and it really lit a fire under me, like I said, and really got me super passionate about entrepreneurship in a way that I had never experienced before. And as one does with something that they're very much in love with, they become kind of obsessed. I bought all of his books, read them cover to cover. I watched all of his videos. I listened to his podcast every single day, and it became a part of my routine. And I loved him and I learned so much from him, as I said. But that was then, and this is now. I have done a lot of maturing in between now and then, and my business has done a lot of maturing as well. I've been so crazy busy. When I was in college, I hadn't even really had my first client yet. I guess I had a couple clients, but there were nothing to write home about necessarily. So I think that business goes kind of in stages, if you will. In the beginning, I was so focused on learning and observing and getting a feel for what other people were doing and really planning what I was gonna do. I do wanna say you should be a lifelong learner, like really in any industry, but especially if you're going into digital or social media, you have to learn forever. Like things change all the time. There's always new ideas, new concepts introduced. So I don't want this to sound like, oh, I don't need to learn anymore, because that's absolutely not true. I do not know everything. But I do think that there comes a point where you become more focused on your business than all of the different voices in the room. And I think that a lot of people struggle with this. In my mentorship programs, in my courses, people DM me on Instagram and all that. And they ask me how do I be more like XYZ? Or how do I network more? Or how do I, and I'm like, well, first let's start with you. What are you doing? What are you focused on? And if you're not focused on anything, or you haven't tried yet, or you haven't gotten started yet, you haven't built your website yet, well, yeah, it's gonna be hard to network. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to be like GaryVee. His personality and all of that is amazing and it's captivating, right? But at the end of the day, he's a businessman. So I think it's interesting when people will start a YouTube channel and be like, well, I want to be like GaryVee. But okay, but do you know the kind of business deals he's doing behind the scenes? Not saying that you have to be an accomplished business person to have a YouTube channel, obviously, but you have to get to the root of it. You have to do something before just emulating people. And, this is something that GaryVee said that I've been on record. I don't know if it was in a Facebook group or if it was on here. I really can't remember, but I remember kind of criticizing him because he would say that he doesn't pay attention to the competition. And I'm in no way saying that I'm Gary Vaynerchuk's competition. Obviously, we're completely different levels here. But, I criticized him then. I was like, that's so arrogant, that you should always pay attention to what other people are doing. And now I kind of get it though. I still agree to an extent. I still think that there's always something to be learned, always a different voice in the room that you can listen to, but I do get it. I do understand how it's such an important tool to kind of put the blinders on and just focus on you and focus on your business and your objective without getting sideswiped by all these other things that are going on. And I see so many people making these mistakes, and maybe on paper or on Instagram, they look like they're amazing and their businesses are thriving because they're just, out here all the time getting professional pictures taken, looking cool. But what are they, I don't know what they do. I don't know what they sell. I think a lot of it can be a little bit about optics. And it is hard, in this constantly connected world, in this world that can be so competitive, you know, it's difficult, but I think it's important to listen to your voice and make your voice the loudest one in the room before like going to these gurus and these Facebook groups and these podcasters and like into me. Like stop, like if you haven't started yet, but you've been watching me, stop. Another reason that I stopped listening to GaryVee is really because I think that there's, like I said, there's other voices that need to be heard. There's other styles of leadership in business that have some play, and he is very memorable. He's very, like I said, he's very captivating. That's why he's so successful. He has this very loud, aggressive, extroverted kind of leadership, and that's okay. That's one style of leadership. That's one style of business, but that's not who I am. I pride myself on being a very introverted, quiet leader. And I think that that is a thing. I know that that is a thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And so align yourselves with the people who make sense for you and learn from others too. Of course I learn from Gary. You know, I think that there is a time and a place for me to be more extroverted, to be more loud. But there's also times when I want to listen to Susan Cain, or I want to listen to somebody who, you know, is a little bit more aligned with me and has a different view of leadership. I think that Gary Vaynerchuk's followers, myself included, can be very like diehard. You know, it's like Gary, like I just want to hear everything Gary. I love GaryVee. I have all his books, you know, but like open yourself up a little bit to other people too. There's so many different amazing perspectives in this world. And also like it's important to listen to women. It's important to listen to people of color. It's important to listen to people who identify differently in terms of gender. Like there's so many different perspectives in this world. And there's so many things that I disagree with Gary about. For example, you know, I said like introverted versus extroverted. Like I totally believe that quiet leadership is powerful. I also disagree with him. He said it a couple times in his podcast. This is not a direct quote or anything, but like that he's not super educated on politics and therefore he doesn't feel comfortable and doesn't want to speak out about it. You know, I couldn't feel further away from that. I think that my destiny and my goal and my obligation in life, one of those things is to speak out about certain issues and topics because, you know, it's not just something I want to align my business with, it's something that I feel obligated to do. And that doesn't make me better or worse than him, it's just different things. So it's important to get different perspectives of business. And lastly, it's important to know that your idols can fail you sometimes. They can disappoint you sometimes. And, you know, Gary hasn't done anything major that has made me like eye roll, but people can do things that disappoint you. And I think it's never been clearer at any point in my life that like, don't have idols. Be your own idol. You know what I mean? People left and right in Hollywood and in the business world are just showing that they're flawed humans, just like we are. So if you're gonna admire and idolize a flawed human, it might as well be yourself. Again, I'm not saying that Gary Vaynerchuk is a terrible person. I don't know what he, but like that's the thing. I don't know him. Now with that said, do I support him? Do I think he's great, all of that, yes, but I don't idolize people. Let me just be clear. I do not idolize him. I do not want to be him. I am not like, I'm just not. So yeah, I hope I was clear in this video that I wasn't bashing anyone and that I think like everybody's great. I just, you know, I just think it's important to look inside yourself and listen to your intuition, listen to yourself, come up with your own ideas. So yeah, I am very curious to know who some of the people who got you guys interested in whatever industry you're in or in entrepreneurship in general or business in general. I would love to know who some of those people are. And I'd also love to know if you still listen to them and follow everything that they say, or if you're just kind of like doing your own thing now. Make sure to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you haven't yet. I do post a video every single week on something about social media or entrepreneurship or business or travel or life in Detroit or whatever the heck I feel like posting that week. And yeah, I'd love it if you subscribed and joined the family. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, I think that you will love the Freelance Friday podcast, particularly episode number 5, which is all about competition on social media. If you'd like to give it a listen, just go to ajourneyeast.com/podcast or search for the Freelance Friday podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or any of the places that you listen to your podcasts.